Welcome to the Ohio Family Engagement Leadership Summit. We are glad that you could join us on this day of professional learning meant to take family-school-community partnership to the next level. My name is Kayan, and I will be this session's moderator. This session is session 10, Bring the Village to the Schoolhouse-One District's Multi-Prong approach to family engagement. If you have any question, concern, or technical issue, please message me privately in the chat. If you like contact hours for this session, a code will be provided at the end to enter a request form. Please be on the outlook for this code as it will only be provided once. To ensure that all get the most out of today, we ask that all participants turn off their webcams and microphones. If you have any questions for our presenters, please use the chat features and I will pass them along at an appropriate time. You can also join the conversation on Twitter. Be sure to use hashtag OHSummit24 to share your thoughts. Janice, Anna, Kelly, I'm excited to learn more from you.
Afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us today.
Hello, everyone.
We're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. We are from the Princeton City School District. It is located on the north side of Cincinnati, Ohio. And we'll tell you a little bit about our district, and then we'll show you what kind of work we're doing to incorporate a multi-pronged approach to family engagement. Kelly?
Hi, everybody. My name is Kelly Perrin, and I'm the Director of English Learner Services here in Princeton City School District. This is my 4th year in this role within the district.
I am Anna Martinez. I am the Bilingual Family Engagement Program Coordinator. I have been in the district for 15 years, 4 years in this role.
And I am Janice Bellon. I've also been in the district for 4 years, and I act as a coordinator for English Learner Services at Princeton. We have done a lot of work around family engagement, but our approach to it has been always with the families being centered, and it's a lot of it has been embedded with working with our multilingual families. So that said, our objectives for today, our participants should understand how family engagement contributes to one district's equity plan. So we'll introduce to you Princeton's equity plan and let you know a little bit about its history. We will learn about varied approaches to family and community engagement because the 3 programs that we're showing you today have very different approaches to how we bring people in. And hopefully, as a participant, you can apply these approaches that center both family and student needs for stakeholder engagement.
So looking at Princeton City School District's equity plan, we developed our equity plan, started back in 2020-2021 school year. And really, we needed to implement some systems and strategies that would ensure that our student successes were there, as well as parent successes, so wrapping that in as well. We really looked at diverse representation within the school district in terms of faculty and staff so that our student population would see themselves represented within the district. Later, our plan added pieces to kind of bring in the family engagement piece as a route to equity. We wanted to ensure that everybody in the district had a plan, or had a voice, at the schoolhouse, but also at the district level. We weren't seeing that, and that was some way that we wanted to wrap that focus into the equity plan as well. So looking at our equity plan, what impacts our equity plan? Our district right now is the largest percentage populated with our multilingual learners within the state of Ohio. So we've seen a significant rise over the past, since I've been here, but over the past 5 to 10 years, significant rise in our EL population. We have 40 plus heritage languages spoken within the district, and we wanted to have more representation, like I said, from multilingual learner families at the stakeholder level. So looking at, building leadership in terms of PTO, and then also at district level in terms of board members or committee members. Our district is a pretty vast district. We have 2 cities within our district. We have 4 villages within our district and also 3 counties. So it's a large district, and we have a huge, like I said, population of multilingual learners. With that, we wanted to make sure that our equity plan, again, back to being developed, represented that piece and wrapped in and folded in family engagement and support for those families to bring them in. We wanted cultural representation from across the various buildings because we have ELs in every building within our district. And each of those buildings look a little bit different, but how can we bring all of that together as a community and have representation within that? It was also a route to express parent concerns or just parent questions and being represented across not only building level, but district level.
So the first focus that we have is where flexibility meets need. Whenever you go to events school-wide, district-wide, there tend to be a group of parents that we don't see, and we wonder how we're going to bring those particular parents to the schoolhouse. So in order to start brainstorming a little bit, we're going to invite you all into the chat. And we wanted to just have a larger discussion to think about conference nights and family teacher meetings. So let's brainstorm. What are some barriers that prevent parents and guardians from attending such events? So in the chat, go ahead and let's see if we can list some possible barriers that we encounter at the schoolhouse for such events. So I'm seeing,
Transportation.
I love what I'm seeing.
yeah, my mom always worked nights, transportation, work, childcare, dinner, no lie, dinner, work, time of day, bad experience with schools, language, white space. Indeed, yes.
Lack of communication, absolutely.
Language barrier. Conflicting meetings, childcare, homework, bad experience, not feeling welcomed. That so much of what I'm reading in the chat right now, we see a lot of communication in this realm. We get a lot of feedback from our families, and we're trying to do our best to address some of these. Fear.
That's great.
Wait until we get to our third prong. I cannot wait to address fear, because we definitely do that a little bit today. And I think that we found some ways to help counteract that. All right. Thank you.
Those are all great.
They really are. Open house from 3 school schedules at the same time. Why do we do that, y'all?
I know. All right.
Why do we do that?
I still ask.
We
ask.
I know.
Can change dates.
Right. All right. So, Anna, do you want to talk about some of our targets for growth for Second Cup?
So, taking under consideration all of those inputs that you have on your comments, I love all of those because those are the things that we look at when we plan these targeted programs, especially for our ESL and immigrant community. Some of the things that we take in consideration is the time. When are we going to host this event that parents can come to the event? Where? What is the location for the event? Flexibility. We want the parents to feel welcome and that they can come. Sometimes they get to the meetings late. Sometimes they come, they stay, they leave early. We also provide a welcoming space where the children are welcome as well. And we want that because that's also part of the early literature part. So bringing their children with them, and probably you will see in some of the pictures that the little ones are actually the attraction, and sometimes they are the one who entertain the programs. So with the Second Cup of Coffee, it's a very intentional meeting. Other schools in the district are providing programs that are as a family engagement. But this program was implemented for our schools with larger ESL community and where we see the lack of participation from our diverse population. So we wanted to have more representation of our parents. And how do we achieve that? Because the parents sometimes don't know, or as I saw on the chat, they are afraid or they don't see the importance of that. So starting a robust outreach program, calling the parents, sending letters, sending video text messages, all kinds of sources we use to engage the parents and inform them about these meetings. Once they come to the first meeting and they learn about what we are trying to do, and they feel welcome, valued, and also they have a voice during those meetings. So the parents continue coming, and it grows. It's been growing. Our program is very solid right now, and it's something we're very proud of. And so the parents will come. The meetings start right off when they are dropping off their children at school. We host these meetings at their community schools. They can walk to the school where the meeting is hosted at. And what we try to cover during this meeting is we pretty much, using the tier 2 and 3 of the family engagement program, we provide information to the parents that it's important for them to know, but it has to be told in a way that they can understand, that they can feel that they can contribute and participate. So we give them a heads up about upcoming events, school needs, student academic, what is expected for the next few days or weeks ahead of them, so they can plan and they know. We also give them resources and information how to be part of that learning period for their children and how they can get involved with their school.
Why don't you tell them about the story where about Class Dojo?
Yes.
I think it was at the Stewart meeting, wasn't it?
So something that we try to make sure is that the parents have opportunity to talk and share their concerns, their needs and wants. And within those conversations, our principals are also very involved, our administrators, and everybody has a place in this meeting. So the parents' voice is very important, and that's what we are trying to uplift, the parent voice, and giving them the opportunity to use it. And we talked about in our first round, we do this, we do these meetings once every quarter. So remember, it's giving the parents a heads up of what to expect for the next few weeks. So we do this every quarter, so we don't overwhelm the parents with all the information at once. So we target the information that we want to share, that we consider is important for the parents to know for that period of time. So for this part, we talked about communication. We talked about communication and how to communicate with the teacher. And we have a program, is Class Dojo, that is the teacher will communicate with the parents, and the parents can text back and message the teacher, and the message will be translated to the language that they prefer. So one of the parents, when we talked about that, one of the parents said, well, but my app is charging me $50 a month. We were not aware of that. So as a district, we have to look into those concerns, because we are using the free app, the free version of Class Dojo. But some parents were using the version that they have to pay. And also parents share their challenges using the app, the things that they have noticed with the free app versus the app that they're paying for. So it was a very neat conversation, especially because this is the first time we hear about this, and the district has been using Class Dojo for quite a few years now.
So again, to that point, is that that's another avenue for parent voice. Had we not been told that, that's an area we would have missed out on communicating with families, because those parents, there were others that had said, yes, same thing, they're being charged, and weren't going to pay for it. So they were taken away from that communication piece. We really were wrapping them in and making sure. So that's something that we were able to help problem solve with them in the moment, to tell them that, nope, it's not charged, you can be on the free app, making sure they have a route to communication two-way, to school and from school to home.
Something very important that I like to add to the second cup of coffee So, second cup of coffee, that means there is going to be coffee. So make sure that you have coffee and donuts if possible. So when you sit there, the parents sit there. Some parents are coming straight from work. Some parents work third shift, so they will drop off their children at school and go home and rest. For this meeting, some parents take the time and the effort to go sit there and talk and learn. So coffee is important. So make sure that you have coffee there for them when they get there. And donuts. That's how we do coffee and donuts and a lot of information.
And this second cup of coffee is not just for our EL families. It's for anybody within the building are welcome to join these meetings.
I was going to say, one of the cool things I think about second cup of coffee and why it's so successful has a lot to do with the diversity of families it brings in. We often have our PTO leaders participating in Second Cup, and they will be there giving PTO updates and recruiting involvement from lots of people who are attending because we were able to drum up that kind of recruitment. You know, like I said, like Anna said, she calls a lot of people whenever she knows that this is coming up and it's well promoted within the buildings. So you have a group of stakeholders who aren't normally communicated with, and with maybe that PTO group. And then you have the PTO group saying, oh, we not only have a resource for further outreach and further volunteering and whatnot, or membership, we now have a resource that is multilingual and can make sure that more community members know about everything that's going on in the schoolhouse.
Something else that I like to add is, as Kelly mentioned, these meetings are open to all the parents and all the community members. So, but another thing that I do behind the scenes is I will call the parents, especially those new to the district or new parents with kindergartners or preschoolers that we know those are new people in the district. So those are my first targeted community. So I will be calling those parents, making phone calls and talking to them about this opportunity and also inviting them to the meeting. And some parents will be okay. Some parents will say yes. Some will say no. And some of them will be, what would I get from there? So then that's when I talk about the importance of being involved with the school and learning and how being ahead of the game can help their children succeed in school.
So these second cup of coffees have started at the elementary level. We started at the elementary level first. We have since then scaled up to start including the secondary level as well. So we are doing those quarterly within the secondary. The high school's out there. Yeah, we're trying to get the high school wrapped in this school year, but we are doing it at K-12 level. Well, I know I've seen some questions come to the chat. We'll address those. I'm writing them down over here on the side, so we'll make sure we give time for Q&A at the end, and I'll make sure I address those at the end as well.
But keep the questions coming. Please keep the questions coming. So you've seen Focus 1. We're now going to move on to Focus 2. If you have your mobile phone by you, go ahead and take it out. Probably the easiest way to access this. So our second focus is celebrating the community at the schoolhouse. And this is something that's actually coming up for us. It's an event that we're all looking very much forward to. And so instead of what kind of gatekeeps us from those events, let's talk about the other end. Let's talk about what makes us excited. So what generates excitement about a school event? And I want you to think about any kind of school event. I want you to think about sports or, art stuff like plays and performances, or you could even think about a parent-teacher conference, anything that would bring a large number of people together at a school. So what generates that excitement? And think about what brings people together and bridges understanding amongst diversity. And because that winds up being kind of what part of our focus is. So for this activity, we would like you to either go to menti.com, and we have a code right here. And then we also have a QR code at the bottom of the screen. And we would like you to Some ideas, and we're going to build a word cloud. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes before I pull that up. And y'all were so wonderfully vocal with the first question. I can't wait to see what this word cloud looks like. Let's see. Let's go to our Mentimeter.
Thank you. I'm going to put that in the chat as well, the link in the chat.
Thank you very much.
That helps.
Okay. All right. Oh, wrong one. I clicked on the wrong one. Let's see what we got.
Oh, what's the code?
The code?
Yes, it is 8779-1284. That is your code. I'll put it in the chat as well. Thank you. Thank you, Whitney.
I'm going to go ahead and present that. Oh, we got some words. We definitely have some words. It's coming up slowly.
Okay, what did you say then?
Food.
Yeah.
But I see some other things too. Okay, we have incentives, student performances,
Sense of belonging.
school pride, hearing about your child, seeing your child perform,
engaging with teachers,
hands-on activities,
prizes,
Diploma event.
a diploma event. I like that.
crafts, networking.
Woohoo.
I think we're getting ideas too, y'all.
Yeah, we're getting some other ideas. Yeah.
I love it.
Connection.
Honoring accomplishments, a group project, socializing, bounce houses. Who doesn't love a bounce house?
Purpose. I love that. Purpose. Yes.
Hands-on activities.
Fun, just fun, music, connection, freebies.
We all like freebies.
Okay, vouchers for first in line, engaging with teachers, meeting the teacher. Okay, so what if I said that we kind of jailbroke this and found a way to bring it all to the same place? And then on top of that, we've layered some other stakeholder involvement as well. This is kind of where we're at right now. This is, by the way, thank you for this. This is huge. I can't wait to share this with even like some more people in our district. Like, okay, this is what people want. This is what we need to continue to.
I'm actually going to take a picture. I need to share this.
Oh, I'll make sure you have a copy of it. All right, 82 responses. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and I see music. Oh, we had that too.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right.
So
Awesome.
next.
For sure.
Okay. Who wants to talk about the beginning of it? Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
I can share a little bit of
All right.
it. So when I first started my position as a liaison in community engagement, I always thought that there was a need for a space for celebration of culture and diversity, and especially I will use Hispanic heritage because I think the Hispanic culture is the biggest in our district.
About 90%.
So, and coming from also a Hispanic culture, I know the importance of having a space to celebrate you, to celebrate your culture, who you are, where you come from, and what you're proud of. And I remember bringing this idea to my supervisor, and she said, let's talk to the superintendent. And we went in and he said, you got it, do it. So we started a Hispanic Heritage Festival, which takes place during the Hispanic Heritage Celebration Month. It's our third Hispanic Heritage Festival. It's coming up next week, September the 28th. And so yes, we are doing this. And I started going out in the community, reaching out to different organizations, because one of the things we wanted to do is that it also fall back or connect to the district equity plan. So bringing the opportunity for the families to come together. As Princeton is a district that is so diverse, all our communities, they don't all look the same. So we want to bring all the communities together to learn about our district diversity and to also learn about the Hispanic culture. And how do we do that? So we bring performances with folkloric and authentic dances group. We bring food vendors, games. We provide a lot of student activity, and something that is also unique as we continue in creating opportunities for our students, college, career, and life success. This is an event that the student participation is overwhelming, and they look for every year. And so to see from the first year, the great participation, the acceptance of the community leaders, the district leaders, board members, everybody coming together and seeing how amazing it was. People were so happy to have a space to celebrate their culture and also to celebrate with others and share their culture with others. And so it became an annual event, and that's why we're celebrating now the third festival. And the student participation goes from designing the t-shirts for the event. The student help organize, set up, take down. They work with the vendors and community organizations that come to the event. They make sure everybody has what they need to have a great day and a great time. We also provide a lot of education. So there is opportunities for community organizations to bring information about the resources to the community. So there is this year we have the Tri-Health Mammography Van will be scheduling and actually performing exams right there at the event. They will also be providing medical information or educating the families how to take care of themselves, or how to schedule this regular checkups. We have Children's Hospital will be coming, bringing their mobile unit, and they will be performing hearing, screening, vision, and medical exams right there on the spot. They will also be providing information about regular checkups and immunizations and the importance of doing all those things that sometimes coming from other culture, we do things different. So understanding the process, it's great. And having this at the event where people are dancing, eating, having fun, it's a very relaxed environment. And the participation of the whole community and the school administrators and teachers and the staff members is just amazing to see how the community connects with the Princeton employees. We see the board members walking around, enjoying food, trying to dance salsa. Or
you haven't lived until you've watched your principal try to dance the salsa.
Right.
It's awesome.
It's a great community event. And also what is neat about it is the student participation, the education, the community building, but also that is open to the entire community. It's not just for the Princeton students or community, it's for the whole, it's public. So everybody's welcome.
And it's free.
And it's free.
It's free.
I was going to say, people might be paying for food from the food vendors, but other than that, there are so many free resources and free opportunities and giveaways that a lot of the community members are bringing in. Whenever Anna told me last year that we would have screening from Cincinnati Children's, I was floored. I was like, everyone needs to know about this. This is something that everybody in the city of Cincinnati needs to know about, because what a perfect opportunity to bring in, someone who may not may not have established that trust with someone who's a healthcare provider, and then have it ready for them to be able to show that this is also a community partnership, and we want your children to be healthy and participate in their education, and we're going to help in any way that we can. The Hispanic Heritage Festival has become kind of a cornerstone for a lot of interactive work that our district has done. And it has actually been an inspiration for other things to kind of step up and figure out different ways for their other cultural celebrations to be had in Princeton. Black Heritage Month, for example, is a pretty big deal at Princeton. And the entire month of February, there at the high school level, there are performances and planning that is done to show at a culminating moment towards the end of the month. Again, centering the campus within the community and showing, the diversity within the community of how everyone is performing and how they're contributing to their school environment. Those cultural cornerstones, especially with that student ownership, it is so important to be able to demonstrate that. And you have parents who are able to say they're immediately reflecting their identity in the school space. That's how belonging is created. And we want to be able to, in any way, if we can bring that to the schoolhouse, we will. And the Hispanic Heritage Festival, it really is, if you're anywhere near Cincinnati on the 28th, please stop by. It is so fun. I was overwhelmed the first year, and I was like, this is huge. I couldn't believe that we were pulling off something this big, and it was awesome.
And something else that I'd like to add, for some students, that was also an inspiration, as a lot of the students, or I would say most of the students, it's a student-led event. And there was a student who approached us and say, can we do a multicultural day? So where everybody is invited to wear their typical attire or clothing that represent their country or their culture. And yes, you got it. So we all dressed up. I got dressed up and went to show my Dominican heritage with the students. And it's just amazing to see so many cultures represented within the district. And also, and I think that happened within the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration, in between those days.
All right. And now we're coming to our third focus. And this is probably the most recent iteration that we have, that we've attempted to fill within our district. And it's coming from a need to have people who are in communities where voices are not heard come forth and be leaders. And this is something where there's a lot of roadblocks here, because not only do we, especially with, 3 people who work with English learners, people who have that language gap are often reticent to make their opinions known, or even wonder if their opinions are welcome. But again, we were trying to answer a call to that. So before we move on, again, we're going to go back to Mentimeter. So again, if you have your phone, and I'll have a code on the screen, we're going to do something a little different. So we're going to brainstorm something together. So we have a lot of vocal people here still, and we are going to create a course. So we're going to build a course. Let's imagine we have an opportunity to teach parents everything they would need to know about schooling in the United States. And for those of you out there that are parents, I want you to put yourselves in put your parent hat on for a second. And I want you to think about something you were shocked to learn about whenever your children were in school. Because of course, it has changed, in the 20 years that, I was parenting a school-age child, right? I'm like, dude, so much has changed since I was in school. It is completely different. So think about that. So we're going to put all those things in a course. Give me one lesson we need to teach, one subject within that course. And that's meant to bridge our gaps in understanding as a parent and as a community member.
Can I participate too?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Bring up your phone, man. Bring it up.
I wish I have known
So,
then that I know now.
right.
And I'm still learning though.
I think all three of us can testify to that. Just it's the Wild West out there sometimes whenever you're learning about the differences of our participation as high school students, and our kids' participation as high school students.
Right.
So I'm going to go back to Mentimeter, and
Let's see.
I'm going to see what our course lessons are. All right. So go back. Oh, we have some. Let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, share.
It's testimonials.
Oh, it's not letting me present. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I tell you what, we might, if you don't mind, let's change it. That's an error on my part. I apologize. Maybe we can dump them in the chat. What our course recommendations are.
Let's see. I thought somebody said testing on that before it.
Okay,
Yeah,
testing, learning expectations at younger ages.
Yes.
Where to get help with homework, social cues.
Vocabulary.
Yeah.
What information is most crucial for keeping students safe? The benefits of deep breathing, technology, resiliency, social emotional, state testing rigor. How the public library can help. We actually addressed that last time.
Grades. That's a great one too.
How to read grades, social emotional learning.
Yeah.
Reading at home, homework starts in kindergarten.
Oh my
Trauma
God,
care.
yes.
Trauma care.
We actually cover that.
Mm-hmm.
The kindergarten piece.
Teen slang.
The school first, what families can do.
No skibidi here.
Yeah.
uh,
And how to support at home. It's attendance. Yes.
Understanding the student progress and how to support at home.
the acceptance of autistic children in gen ed. Wow. Okay. Man, y'all are giving us more ideas, I think. Attendance, empathy, and consent. How to do math.
Well, math is not.
I don't know if we are qualified.
The way they teach it now is different than how we learn. I understand that.
Yeah, I think I'll stay away from math.
Don't make your kids think they are sick. Interesting. Okay. Cultural differences in private matters. Absolutely. Absolutely. SPED, breaking barriers. Yep.
I think we need to take a break and go update our curriculum.
Well, learn who all the staff members are besides teachers. You need to know.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
PBIS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It sure does make a difference.
I really think that you all you're getting the idea of where we're going with this. How to build relationships. Some of our modules are a little different, and we'll explain, but we have, and thank you for your participation. Y'all can keep them coming as you think about it, but some of the work that we've done around this next piece has been transformative in the schools where it has been adopted, and we're continuing to see the benefits of it. There we go. Who wants to talk about this?
So our growth for target so the next piece that we're going to talk about now is the Princeton Parent Leadership Academy. So growth for target, again, some of those comments that you put in there around what we need to educate our families about, or a lot of the topics that you put in the chat. So we want to make sure that we're inviting our multilingual parents and guardians into the campuses, because we know not all of them have access to the school, or do they know what access they have into the building or school or district, right? So, we think parent-teacher conferences and the parents aren't coming and showing up. Why is that? What are those barriers? So looking at these kinds of things in our targets for growth, educating those families on what U.S. Schools are, what they look like compared to their schools from their home countries, making sure that we have an environment where our stakeholders feel safe and that their voice is valued, but they can also share that. They can ask questions. They can be vulnerable in doing so, and know that we're there to help support. Making sure that we have other community members coming in too, as well, to hear some of those questions, to also offer education around what their roles are within the community to kind of bridge that gap between them. And also, again, within the district, building community and relationships with the family from the building all the way up to the administrative top level. So the Princeton Parent Leadership Academy, we are now in our 3rd year of doing this. This started out as an initiative. We had connected with a community member to kind of lead this project in a building, just kind of pilot and see what would happen. And really it was about bringing our EL, multilingual families in one building, which is the building itself is 51% EL populated, and wanting to see how we could increase parent support, but also parent engagement within that building. And so we brought in this program to try and pilot it and see how it would go, and would this kind of be helpful. So looking at our second cup of coffee to the Parent Leadership Academy, the difference is we're educating the family on what is best suiting them to be advocates, but also active, engaged parents within the building and district. The other thing is the time frame. We are doing this in the evening. So again, back to parents that have multiple work schedules or different needs, trying to find another route to access them at a different time that may be more, doable for them. So this really was kind of building that building level, building center support for those families, also trying to find ways to eliminate some of those barriers to get them into the building. So holding in the evening, we do have meals there for them, so we always have food. We know that's been mentioned before, food brings people together, but knowing that some of them are coming straight from work or leaving after the meeting and going to work so that they're fed. Children, they're all welcome. We bring your students, your children. If you've got children that is your barrier from coming, don't worry about the child care, bring them with you. We will help with activities for them to do during the time frame that they're there, or they can sit with you.
Well, and the last time we did this, we actually were partnering with our school program. Yeah, our organization that works with our district that does both before and after care. And they were working with our kids so the parents could focus a little bit, but we still had littles with us. We had a dad that was coming with his infant daughter every week. And, every now and then one of the teachers would be walking around with an infant. I mean, we wanted to make sure that whatever we could in order to invite them in, that we had the opportunity to do it.
And child-friendly snacks. Make sure we had child-friendly snacks and stuff there for them. So the way this was funded too, funding is always a big issue, right? How are you going to pay for this? So, the Title III, this was paid for out of my Title III budget. So I know a certain percentage of our Title III budget needs to be allocated for family engagement. So we set aside that piece to go ahead and cover the food and cover the materials that we wanted our families to have in hand for them to be successful through this academy. I'm going to let you go into the course now, how that looks.
Okay. Can I add a little bit of engagement?
Okay.
So once again, connecting this to the Princeton mission, which is empowering our students for college career and life success, we have learned through the process. We have hosted 3 Princeton Leadership Parent Academy. And the first one, we pretty much had all from Hispanic descendants or Spanish-speaking families. The second one, we had people from diverse culture representation, including U.S. citizens, which was very interesting to learn how is this program, there should be more representation of the diverse community, as not just because you were born and raised in the United States, you know all the ins and outs about the education, the expectations, and who to reach out and how to reach out, the people that you will need to be in conversation when it comes to your child's education.
It helps to take away the assumptions too, I think, of why parents are engaged. There are assumptions out there. We assume a parent doesn't do a parent-teacher conference or to a PTO meeting or to a school event, that they don't care, they're not involved, and that this helps take away those biases.
So also we learned through the academy that we have parents that come from a diverse educational background. We have parents that have never been in school, in a formal education in the classroom per se, and parents who speak other languages besides English and Spanish, and other language, like people who come from Spanish-speaking countries speaking a dialect or tribal tongue. So we have people who have a degree, a master's in their home country, and people who are, we had book writers, we had people who speak 3-4 languages, parents who are accountants, have degrees in a diverse variety of fields. But when they were in the classroom, when we come together, we all share the same thing. We need to learn about the education system. We need to know how to support our children, and what is the expectation, and what is the parent involvement, how does it look like. And so during this time in the program, we have gone through changes we add to it. So one piece that we add in our most recent group is we added the early literacy program for, there is a particular need on that building, on that community, of helping parents educate the parents about what the children need to know to be ready for kindergarten. And we provided early literacy material for parents to practice with their children throughout the summer before school starts. So it will be interesting to see the difference or the impact of this program, that this program is making on those children, because we are planning on following up on those particular students. We also have boost the curriculum in a way that sometimes the parent conversations, the questions kind of makes us adjust the conversation for the day. Also bringing the resources, the community, because within the curriculum there is the opportunity for meeting board members and asking questions, and you will be surprised to see the questions that the parents will ask, questions that you might not even think about, but are from their concerning and perspective, and also that is combined with their cultural background and their beliefs. Also, the connection with community leaders, with law enforcement, because there is a gap in that trust, building that trust with those leaders in the community. So there is now this whole group of stakeholders coming together to participate and have some sort of connection with the Parent Academy, because it's now understand that there is a space where we are educating our community, but also providing a space for them to feel welcome, safe, and share their inputs.
And based off of that, I want to go back a little bit to the course construction, because it also is embedded to assist in meeting a need. It began as 6 fixed modules in a particular sequence. The only one that we have not changed at this point is the first. And the first one is meant to introduce everyone to the group that they will be working with, and to establish some group ground rules so everyone does feel welcome. And what's really interesting about that first meeting is that everyone just wants to be respected. They want to have an opportunity to learn without without anyone being, projecting shame, I guess. And they want to make sure that they're secure in the ability to ask questions. And I've been the teacher for this. And one of the things that I say is I am here to learn from you as much as you are here to learn. And so it's no one has a greater voice within the meeting, myself included. Everyone is there to learn. We are all going to take that opportunity to grow. But we've only done this in elementary buildings. So, we focus on the early literacy piece. We focus on the engagement piece from that perspective. But the reason why we want to have it as a module selected model is because we want to expand into our secondary buildings. Instead of having an early literacy module, we need to have a post-graduation and scholarship module. And being able to swap that in and out based on the environment that we're in. For example, if we were to continue this and we're not in a building with a large number of English learners, and we have a lot of parents that are native to the United States, their needs might be different. And even though they still might need the education, they might need the background, we can still swap some of those modules in order to ensure that they are getting everything that they need. Can I share the story about our girl from Sharonville?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
One of our parents is, she was awesome. Whew. She came to the meetings and she was pretty readily vocal from the moment she walked into the room. But I noticed that some of the activities that we had planned, she had trouble participating. And so, we were already thinking as a group, like, what are we going to have to do a little bit different in order to make sure that some of the people in this group can participate? She gets up and proudly proclaims that she does not know how to read in any language. She does not know how to read in Spanish. She doesn't know how to read in her first language, which is a Mayan language, Incan language. And she doesn't know how to read in English. But she has a daughter that she is trying to support. And she said very clearly, I know I can support her, but I need to know how. And so we're like, okay, so we're going to have to meet a different need here. And so we had to rethink our activities. We had to rethink how we were going to get engagement from everybody in the room because we did not want her to feel singled out. And so we changed it up. We looked at our lessons and we changed it up. And look, this woman wound up leading a few conversations and wanted to make sure everyone was on board and could participate just like she could. And it changes our perspective in the way that we give service delivery. We have some parents that have greater need and may have different abilities, but it doesn't change the fact that they are right there wanting to participate. And that's something that we absolutely need to keep at the forefront whenever we are working with these parents.
I think for us, that was a huge validation for us of why we are doing this and the fact that we did create that community of trust and, that your voice is important and that parent felt important enough and knew there was no judgment, that she was able to say, I don't know how to read or write in any language. And there was no judgment. It was great. Let's adapt and change to make sure that you have what you need. And it was just, for us, it was a huge validation. It was like, thank you so much. So what we're doing is, is making a difference. So.
And from that perspective also, from that first class, when we introduce ourselves and share about us, it gives us an idea the direction that the class will take.
Sure.
And how we need to start making accommodations. And that goes back to the family tier of family engagement tier. So for this mom, we have to apply what will be tier 2 or 3, because we also have to apply the part where everything was read to her. Mm-hmm. And it was read a couple times because the Spanish, as she shared, was her second language. And she learned to speak Spanish when she came to the United States, which was a couple years ago, and it was very limited. Mm-hmm. So that's how and that speaks for the value of this program and how now this mom feels very comfortable coming to the school, being in the building, but also there is a picture there also where you see a group of parents there. Those are moms who went through the Parent Academy. Now they feel comfortable in coming to those when I call and say, I need some parent support, I need help. There is an event going on. Do you have any, time that you can share and be with us? And they are now they feel more confident and they say yes or no. And it's like I have said before, it's not that we are educating the parents to be in the school, visible, helping, because sometimes they can't. Sometimes coming to this Parent Academy and learning, that's what they can do because that's what is feasible during their schedule. Now, they have the tools and the knowledge that they need in order to work with their children from home and help them and communicate with the teachers, or if it's just making a phone call to the principal or to the school, or maybe calling me, sending me a text message, like I do all the time. They send me texts and calls, and a lot of my parents who have been in the Parent Academy or those meetings where they learn those names and the people that they can reach out to when they need support, they do. So those are things that we are seeing that they are doing, and the increase in the parent participation within the school is being is visible.
And the way we wrap this whole thing, the Parent Academy up, the Leadership Academy, as I saw back in the first Mentimeter, a diploma, I think it was a diploma moment. Our families are recognized. Each academy gets recognized at a board meeting. That's the last culminating event. They get brought up in front of the Board of Education and are recognized for completing the course. And they feel it's a big deal to them to get these certificates and to be recognized for the, coming for 6 weeks. But then beyond that, we've got parents now that are stepping forward, wanting to be involved more in PTA or be involved in district committees, those kinds of things. So it's a wonderful program. We're having lots of success with it.
I know we're running low on time, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. And I wanted to give contact information if we can take like 1 or 2 questions at the end, we can. But here are the emails to be able to access the 3 of us, Kelly, Anna, and myself. We thank you so much for your active engagement throughout this presentation, and we hope to hear from you if you have further questions beyond this. Kelly,
I have 2 questions that I saw come through in the chat, so I'm going to address those. One question was translation support at the meetings. Anna does do the Spanish translation for us over there. If we have families that need other translation, we will bring them in from a company that we contract with to come in and help with translation service. We also, as a district, purchased Pocket Talks, which is a handheld translation device. So we've got those this year for the first time to use as well. So that's one way we handle that. Another way we handle written translation is we've also brought in a platform that will do electronic translation, not just Google Translate, but another form of translation that we can get communication out to families. If you've got more questions around that, feel free to reach out. The other question I saw come through is, how is data gathered around our Parent Academy? We do a pre-survey and a post-survey. So we take that data, and it's the same questions, and I wish we had that here to share.
I know.
And so we asked the same, I think it's like 15 questions. And again, for our parent who did not have literacy skills, that was read to her, and she answered on a separate piece of paper. But we tally that up after each academy and kind of see, did we meet the target or not? And where did we see growth, or where did we not see growth, and how do we need to adjust that for the next Parent Academy? But every academy we've done, pre and post survey, the results are just, they're huge. It's just the way they feel they received information, the way the information they received that they never would have expected to have received. Their voices are being heard. They now have a platform that they know they can go forward on to express concerns, to ask questions, to advocate, or to become an active member in the community.
And one more thing I want to add about the Parent Academy is that, or any of our programs, for instance, in our most recent graduating group, I had a mom who has a child with a disability. Mm-hmm. And that mom was concerned about bringing the child with her because he would not allow her to focus and learn. And maybe transportation was an issue for her. And I can tell you that this mom never missed a day. She came to all the classes, she was prepared, she was ready, she spoke, she's a little quiet, but she spoke, she shared, and her son had the best time ever. He was the happiest kid in the group, and he will eat, he will come and grab his dinner, and then he will go out and play, and then he will come back and he will gather all his supplies and color and do everything that the other kids in general were doing. So that's also a speak for the inclusion of the program.
I think we're out of time, guys. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us this afternoon, and we hope to hear from some of you, and we certainly appreciate your active engagement and attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.